Hey everybody, this is Lawrence with Vote for Peace on YouTube, and this is going to be part 2 of our mini-series on staging violent revolution. Now, most people in this country, violent revolution is considered to be a last resort when all else fails. When government goes so bad and so wrong and there's nothing else we can do to fix it, we resort to violent revolution. And that's in the Constitution. But there's something else that's in the Constitution, and that's voting. And we have not tried that. And the fact that we're here trying to raise awareness is because the media, the mainstream corporate media in this country, likes to paint this image that we have all tried participating. And the reason they do that is because then revolutionaries can go ahead and check that off their list of things that we've tried and that have not worked, and we need to move on to violent revolution.
When you talk about don't you know that you can die?
It's a passive-aggressive way of pushing people to the brink. And we're trying to raise awareness that the fact is, turnout in 2006 was 43%. So I consider that less than a half-assed attempt at voting. You know, the media wants to try to paint this image that we're all participating. We are not. And if you're going down a checklist of all the things that you want to try and exhaust every option before you resort to last resort of violent revolution, please do not check off voting, because we have not tried that yet. And I get a lot of comments from people who say, we've tried voting, but look at the results of the 2006 election. Very little change. And what did we have? We had 43% turnout. So now maybe if turnout was 80 or 85% and we still had very little change, then I would agree. Then I'd say, we've tried that, and I'd be all over YouTube advocating the next stage, a violent revolution or whatever we could do to try to change government. But, you know, I mean, I know, look, I know things, I know what's up. I know what's going on. Here's a book that I just read. It's called The Rothschilds. You know, I know what's going on in this country. I'm no fool. I know that there's a lot that we have to face and stand up against, and there's voter fraud and all that too. But the fact is, we have not tried voting. Now, a lot of people don't vote because of the rigged elections and the voter fraud. But, you know, if you look at the 2000 election, there were 100 million people that did not vote. Now, if you say, well, that election was rigged and you know, Bush won that election because of, you know, voter fraud, I would say, look at those 100 million voters. They could have all voted for Nader, and they would have beat Bush and Gore 2-1. So I think the reason that Nader lost that election had nothing to do with voter fraud. I think that voter fraud is a problem, but people not voting is a much, much bigger problem, and we see that because we don't have you know, any accountability. We have lowest approval ratings in history for our Congress. Our Congress was elected by half of 43% that did vote. So that's about 21.5% elected our Congress. And that's what their approval rating is about 21%. So that's our whole point. If this message could spread far and wide, it would be brilliant. That would really make a difference in terms of, you know, what we're trying to do here. So rate this video, comment on it, even just a short one-word comment is fine. And please share this video with all of your friends, and when you share it, ask them to share it as well so we can keep spreading it as far as possible. Thanks for tuning in to Vote for Peace. Stay tuned for more on revolutions and more on all of this stuff. So take care. And I also want to mention that you can go to your state board of elections or your local county election office and get information on who's running in your district, and other information you might want to check into is how to get a paper ballot, how to vote absentee ballot, all the other options that you can look into.
Where are these 60%? Well, there's a bunch of them who make an intellectual decision not to vote. And we shouldn't just say they're apathetic, because I know a lot who aren't apathetic and are pretty intelligent. And they figured it out.
And power to the people. Thank you for tuning in to Vote for Peace.